What is going on, guys? Back here with another video today. Apologies here for all the video spammage. Now, Mighty Tower Storm is going to be back, or not back. It's going to be coming, excuse me, today. And of course, as well, I want to briefly talk about the event and also talk about the teams that I will be using, and hopefully it gives you guys a bit of insight here on the teams that I'm using. I'm not a heavy Cosmic Crucible guy, but I think for the most part, if you've built up some of these teams here, you shouldn't have too many issues. But let's quickly look at the tower here itself. So there's going to be 2 towers that's going to allow us the ability to get storm shards. And if you go in game here, the event's already live, at least in the sorry, not live, but the preview is live. And you're going to be able to see the shards, and of course as well how many points, and I think you can see the commendations as well, so that you can see that you can actually, I think you can get 2 diamonds on her already, so it's in there. But yeah, again, there's going to be 2 different towers. There's going to be the Mighty Normal, and then there's going to be this Chaos one, and that's going to be able to get you some stars. And it does look like on this first run, we're going to be able to get at least 6 yellow stars on her, which is good. I think, for people trying to push the leaderboards, for people that are stuck somewhere right now and they may need that additional umph, and maybe she's the solution, right? We're gonna definitely play around and test and see how it goes. Again, there's 1 tower, 2 challenges, and again, this Queen's Tempest milestone. This is the one that's already in game. You can preview it, and it's gonna go live when her event goes live. And again, we're gonna be able to get her storm, her shards, and of course her red stars and her diamonds. So this is important because this is going to be a very limited access, right? We're not going to be able to just open up red star orbs and get her, so we want to make sure we can take advantage of the fact that she's here. And do keep in mind, her tower does return. It's not the end of the world. It's going to come back next month, and it's going to come back again. And I do feel like for the most part, they're trying to give access to people for these characters, and hopefully everybody can get her unlocked in a meaningful time. So I think the last point I want to leave you guys with here before we jump into the teams is the fact that these guys are built for Cosmic Crucible, so of course it makes sense that this tower is going to have active Cosmic Crucible buffs. Also keep in mind, much like the Scourge that we've been running with the Surfer Breaker, every single node is also Cosmic Crucible oriented, so of course there's going to be characters that perform better, right? I think in our initial run, we had Phoenix Force in there for the first node because they just have those Phoenix Force Cosmic Crucible buffs active. So this is going to be no different, guys. And of course as well, this makes sense because once we do get the Exalted X-Men unlocked, once we get Angel and Morph and the other guys all leveled up and geared and tiered, it only makes sense that you want to be able to test this team out, and you want to be able to use this team. So it makes a lot of sense there. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so this week we're only going to have about 6 floors. Next week we're going to get an additional 6 floors. So it's important here that we take care of the 6 floors now, and then we can take care of the other ones next week. Keep in mind that there's going to be 2 difficulties, like I said, the Chaos and the Normal. There's going to be 12 floors in total, but we only get 6 this week, and each room has a trait requirement. That's important because data mines have already shown us what those trait requirements are, and we'll kind of look over the teams again. So again, when you defeat a room, the team you use will go on cooldown until the next floors of the tower unlock. So what that means here is, let's say for example, the first room, we can use anybody, and I decide to use, for example, I decide to use my Daring Warriors. That means I won't be able to use the Daring Warriors later on unless next week comes, or the reset, which is like, you reset the floors and you do it again, and instead of using Daring Warriors on floor 1, you use, I don't know, Immortal Weapons, let's say. So just keep in mind, and yeah, and then to make sure you guys are aware, yeah, resetting allows you to retry the floors, and any characters you used will be available again. And then you have to plan carefully, preserve your strongest teams for later floors, reset, and take another shot with a fresh approach. So again, it's gonna go live today, and then yeah, it just talks about why you want her, yada yada yada. But we don't care about that. Let's quickly jump in game here and have a look at the teams. Okay, so our Boy Wonder Rage has already done the data mines for us, and same with Boy One, and they've both indicated already generally what those traits are. And if you haven't already had a chance, go check out their channels. They do have the traits there, so I'm not going to go over all the traits, but we will be in game here, and we'll have a peek at the different characters. And of course as well, keep in mind, the first node, you can basically use anything, I think. That's what I've been told. And yeah, I think for that fact, you'll be able to kind of have some flexibility there. And then it gets a little funky because then when you go into the second node and the third node, that's when there's some specific requirements. And again, I don't know, right? Everything is subject to change. Speculation is the first node may be changing now from any trait to a global one. So we're not 100% sure. That's what the data mines have shown us. And if you guys haven't already had a chance, go check out Rage's video. He pumped it out last night. I checked it out, and it was quite informative. So check it out. I'm going to have it in the description so you guys can have a look here. But if what he says is true, then what that means is the first node, we need to have a global team. And again, this is going to be the easiest node, and this is going to be the easiest section. So with global, you want to just basically use anything that works that you don't think you're going to use later on. And again, like, just, you know, think at the top of my head here, we don't want to be using Speedball, and we don't want to be using Eclipse because we're going to need them later on. But what you could do is just, like I said, use any characters that you feel like that you aren't going to use later on. And for example, let's say Songbird, Victoria Hand, maybe some Liberty members, so people might have built up Liberty. You don't want to use like your mutants, or you don't want to use any of your global global hero ones, like you know, I think Brimstone's in this as well, right? You don't want to use Daemon just yet, just due to the fact that there's going to be a global hero section later on, and you might need Daemon later on. And again, you're probably going to have to play around and test a bit, but you want to use, like I said, any characters you don't feel like that's going to come in later on that's going to be important. So you could use Orcus, there's Zombie Juggernaut, you could also use Swordmaster, I guess Immortal Weapons here, because there's a couple global ones. But yeah, lots of options. So we're not gonna talk about every guy here, but then it switches over to Hero Cosmic. And this one is good because now we actually can take advantage of the fact that we have our Fantastic Four. We've also got Blue Marvel. I don't believe Blue Marvel is going to be needed later on. So Hero Cosmic may be a very good one here for you if you have them unlocked. We also have Odin, who I don't believe is going to be needed later on as well. So he's going to be a good option for you guys. Kahori, Starjammers, I think is going to be one of the go-to ones for just because they're a Cosmic Crucible team. But if you don't have Starjammers built up, like I said, you can take advantage of the fact that you've also got Fantastic Four. You've got Odin. There's some potential synergy as well if you have Icarus and Xerxes. And again, this is the second node, so I can't imagine them being too crazy right off of the gate. But we'll have to see here. Again, as always, these nodes, you know, just like the Scourges, right? They slapped the Daring Warriors on the second node, and it was absolutely just gut-wrenching, right? So we'll see what happens here. The third node, and again, according to the data mines or whatever's been leaked, we'll see when it does go live, is this Mutant section. So Mutant is a good one because there's lots of Cosmic Crucible Mutant teams we can use. And do keep in mind, guys, some of these guys you want to make sure you don't use later on, and there's going to be a non-mythic X-Men section. So right now, what I would say is for mutants, if you could just check off maybe X-Men. Oh gosh, there's a lot of X-Men, isn't there? You take the X-Men out, and then, whoops, you should be able to use some of these non-X-Men characters. And keep in mind, there's also going to be a Villain Mystic section as well. So what that means is, oh no, Shadow King's not. For some reason, I always think he's Mystic. He's not. My bad. Ignore me there. So this third node, because it's the third node, we may still be okay here to maybe incorporate some of these non-X-Men characters, right? Some of these, maybe the Hellfire team, right? There's some synergy there with Hellfire. Maybe Apocalypse, because he's mythic, right? Isn't he mythic, or is he not mythic? No, he's mythic. So he's mythic. So that means you're not going to be able to use Apocalypse later on. So he's mythic. I don't remember if Omega Red is he just a legendary, or is he also mythic? I don't see mythic on here. Okay, so we're good. So keep Omega Red maybe. Phoenix Force may come in handy later in this, you know, in the next section. Again, it's going to take a couple of juggling, but we'll play around, we'll test it out. But Hellfire look to be the team here, I think, if you want to save your cooldowns. And then it switches over to Global Hero, Global City, and I think for the most part, people are probably most likely going to stick with Daring Warriors for this one because they're kind of like the go-to. They are kind of you know, the global hero, you know, city team. Wait, is these? I always forget of these if they run the cooldowns here correctly. I don't know if this is the case. So there's city. Is Daring Warriors here? Where's Daring Warriors? Because they should theoretically. You guys see, there's Speedball. There's Night Thrasher. They're just so much. They're just so much weaker, so I can't see them. Goodness gracious. But yeah, Daring Warriors should be the intent here. Mine are just really weak, so that's why you guys don't see them. But my Daredevil should be up here because he is pretty high damage. Whoops. And where is JJ? Where are you at, JJ? Okay, so Daring Warriors will most likely be the go-to for this team, at least. I'm just going to take these guys off here. It's kind of looking gross a little bit, having everything. So yeah, Daring Warriors is going to be kind of the go-to team there for this section. I don't know if there's any way around it. So if that's not a reason to build them up, we also use them in the Shadow King boss as well. So trying to get as much value out of him as well, and also Sentry boss battle fight. We're gonna be using him as well. So just try to min and max as much as we can here, but also at the same time try to take advantage of the fact that we already built them up and we're going to be able to use these guys. So that is kind of that in a nutshell. It does look like there is some synergy with the Fantastic Four as well and Daemon. So worst case, if you don't have Daring Warriors built up and if you didn't use your Fantastic Four earlier, you may be able to kind of do like a like a Daemon comp, right, with them. And again, we won't be able to use Odin because Odin is he's a mythic, right? Yeah, he's a mythic, so he's going to be out of the picture here. Just trying to see if anybody else. I guess Starjammer's is kind of in here still as well, too. Definitely lots of options, right? There's some Winter Guard. What else is there? There's Phoenix Force. There's Phoenix Force as well. So, I think, yeah, we're just going to have to figure out the sections here. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we play through it. I think definitely for sure gameplay is always better once you kind of get through the, you know, once you visibly see it and play through it and it's in your face, it's going to be a little easier to kind of picture, right? Villain Mystic is the next section, and maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe this is the one you want to keep your, maybe this is the one you want to use your Phoenix Force on. But it does look like this one you can use Mythics. So what that means is, guys, we should actually be able to use our Surfer Breaker. We should also have access to Null, and we should have access to Mephisto. And, of course, as well, if you guys have a Curse built up, I do believe the Accursed is also this Villain Mystic. So, again, favoring Cosmic Crucible teams, it doesn't surprise me that they would put Accursed here. We'll see what we need. But, yeah, I do see Phoenix Force a little bit. I see some Apocalypse. I also see some Insidious 6 and Superior Spider-Man as well, because they are Villain Mystics, right? So, wait a sec. Is he... He's a City and he's a Mystic? I did not know he was a... No, he's a Tech. I don't know if this is correct. Okay, that's weird. Okay, whatever. Ignore the Superior Spider-Man. That's a little weird. But we should be able to use... oh, maybe I did the... Maybe I did the ore wrong. And maybe this is better here. Okay, that looks a little cleaner. My apologies, guys. My apologies. Okay, so again, I think we already alluded to earlier. So no Apocalypse. My bad. I was like thinking, wait a sec. No, he's not a Mystic. So no Surfer Breaker, Fisto, Accursed. Doesn't look like there's as much options as we saw initially, but still, I would say if you don't have a Curse built up, you should still be able to get a pretty good dent in with Mephisto and Null. And who knows, right? Who knows with the Surfer Breaker? Maybe he is the deal breaker. I don't know yet. He's not Cosmic Crucible, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes and see if he makes an impact for us or not. Last and final section is this non-mythic X-Men. So you want to make sure, like I said earlier, you want to make sure you keep some of your X-Men available, right? Because, of course, if you don't have them available later on, you may have to just do a quick reset and see if that works. But yeah, non-mythic. Why does it always do that? Why does it always do some weird stuff? So I guess we'll just yeah, instead of messing around with it. So yeah, again, no mythic. So we wouldn't have access to Xavier, but we would have access to Old Man Logan because he's only a legendary, right? So Old Man Logan will be key here. And then of course as well, we also can use Immortal. Immortal will be good as well because they've got that Cosmic Crucible buff. Yeah, I don't know why it always does that. And yeah, this is funky. Let's just do this mythic thing and see if this works. I don't know. Yeah, it was always funky. I hate these. I hate the toggles. They never seem to work right for me. But anyway. So yeah, Immortal. Old Man Logan, and people that have built up Nightcrawler, or maybe if they have a really, really good Extreme X-Men. Those used to be the previous Cosmic Crucible teams, right? So very, very likely there. And of course as well, I think eventually when we do have the Exalted X-Men, this is probably going to be the go-to team here. So this is the last node, so I imagine this will be very difficult if they're allowing us access to Old Man Logan and the Immortal X-Men. So this one may be the one that blocks people off here, because yeah, if you can't do node 6, you won't be able to do the next nodes next week, right? I think you have to get past node 6 to go into the next section, right? So we'll see. And I do see Havoc here as well, so very well we may need to save him here instead of using him with the Starjammers earlier on. But other than that, doesn't really leave us too many options. It looks like Immortal is kind of going to be the go-to here, and then maybe we can have a B team. You can throw in Immortal, and then you can have a B team or a SAC team consisting of Wolverine, Phoenix, Old Man Logan, and then, I don't know, throw Nightcrawler and Bishop in there, or Gambit, and that could be our B team. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes here, and I'll let you guys know on my teams when we do go live. And of course as well, if you haven't already had a chance, Boilon and Rage have some data mine videos. Like I said, I'll put them in the description so you guys can have a yonder as well. Just want to help you. Just want to help you guys out here if you're doing your planning and all that other stuff for this. Other than that, guys. Other than that, apologies for bouncing around quite a bit here. Apologies on the togglements and messing around with the cooldown. You know, the cooldowns, the you know, the traits and all that stuff. Always seems to be messy for me. But yeah, I think the Daring Warriors is going to be a key team here for this Cosmic Crucible Tower based whatever Mighty Tower, because yeah, they're trying to promote a lot of these Cosmic Crucible teams, and I think lots of people haven't built up Daring Warriors, and I've kind of seen this push now, right, where they want us to build this up for the Scourges, they want us to build up Daring Warriors for the next tower, and of course as well for the next Maestro Battle World fight, right? So really seem to be pushing this team. And maybe this is like our next, I don't know, maybe this is like our next Vigilante team or whatever, where they just want to keep pushing it for everything. And I hope not. I hope they don't. On top of that, guys, just keep in mind as well, like I said, there's always going to be, as people play through it, there's always going to be different combos, different strategies, and we'll see if there's any, we'll see if there's any hacks we can take advantage of when it does go live. Other than that, guys, sorry, got a bit long-winded there again. Hope you guys were able to get some value out of it. If not, I do apologize for that. Thank you for tuning in as always. Always appreciate your guys' time and your inputs in the comments. Other than that, hope you guys have a lovely Friday, and I will see you guys when I see you guys.